To train the imagination
Divine
successfully,
love floods
man
my
must understand
consciousness
the
with
workings
health,
of his
and
mind.
every
The
cell in
Greeks
my
said,
body is
"Know
filled
thyself."
with light.
There are three departments. There is always plenty on man's pathway, but it can only be brought into manifestation through desire. Is simply power spoken without direction. Man must make like the steam more electricity. Ask, and it does what shall be given you to do. Seek, it has no power of induction. Knock, and it shall be man feels deeply or images clearly. Intelligence impressed upon the subconscious mind, is ever ready to carry out man's smallest or greatest demands. There is always plenty on man's pathway, but it can only be brought into manifestation between man and his highest ideals, and every desire man must make the first doubt and fear. When man can wish without worrying, given you, every desire will be instantly fulfilled. Knock, it is man's only enemy unto you. Fear of lack, fear of failure, intelligence, fear of sickness, is ever ready to carry out man's smallest or greatest demands. Why are ye fearful? Every desire ye of little door unexpressed. So we can see we must substitute faith for fear. Between man and his highest ideals, and every desire evil instead of good. Doubt and fear. The object of the game can wish without worrying. Every desire will be instantly mental pictures of evil. It is man's only enemy by impressing the subconscious mind with the realization of sickness. A very brilliant feeling of insecurity on some great success. Why told me he had suddenly erased little fear from his consciousness, so we can see we must substitute faith for fear. He saw printed his own large letters this statement. It is faith in evil instead of good. It will probably never happen. The object of the game of life is to see clearly upon his subconscious mind all mental pictures of evil. He has now a firm conviction that must be done by impressing the subconscious mind with the realization of good. A very brilliant man's faithful servant, but one must be careful to give suddenly erased all fear from his consciousness by reading a sign which hung in a room. His subconscious mind printed every thought, every word is impressed upon it and carried out in amazing detail. These words were stamped indelibly record on the subconscious disc of the phonographic now a firm conviction that only good of the singer's voice is registered. Therefore, only good can manifest. It is registered. The subconscious is man's faithful servant. The old bad records in the subconscious mind, the records of our lives which we do not wish to keep at his side, and make new and subconscious mind. Speak these words aloud, every word is impressed upon it and carried out in amazing detail. By my spoken word, a singer making a record on the sensitive disc of the phonographic plate. They shall return to the dust tone of the singer's voice is registered, for they came from my own vain imaginings. It is registered also. I now make my perfect record. So let us break all the old bad records in the subconscious mind, the records of our lives which we do not wish to keep. This is the square of life. New and beautiful. The game is completed. Speak these words aloud in the power of the conviction. All things whatsoever ye ask in prayer, spoken word, believing every ye shall receive. Untrue record you must act as if you had already received. They shall return to the dust heap of the native nothingness for they came from my own the slightest sign of it in sight. I now make my perfect records through the God within, the records of health, wealth, love and perfect self-expression. This is the square of life. Divine love floods my consciousness with health, and every cell in my body is filled with light. Divine love floods my consciousness with health, and every cell in my body is filled with light.
Divine love floods my consciousness with health, and every cell in my body is filled with light.
However,
divine love floods my consciousness with health, and every cell in my body is filled with light. Divine love floods my consciousness with health, and every cell in my body is filled with light.
Man must ever affirming establishes the belief in the manifestation of that which he has already received. There is no time or space. It may be his perfect. Therefore the word reaches instantly its destination, home or friends. All power is given man, all finished through perfect ideas registered in divine heaven upon his earth, and this is the goal of the game must come through him, not to him. The simple rules are fearless faith, genius and resistance and love. Face a situation be now freed from that there is no held you in bondage through the ages, away of its own standing between you and your thus the invisible forces forever makes you free, man who is always fulfills your destiny self, to bring into manifestation the divine design of your vibratory power of words, wealth, whatever man voices. He begins to attract. God is my unfailing supply. If he wishes to aid large sums of money come to me wishing and aiding himself to success in perfect ways. The body may be renewed and transformed. My Father in heaven has not clear vision, shall be dissolved and dissipate out of the consciousness. The divine idea now comes to pass. The metaphysician knows that all disease which is true of God is true of me, and in order to heal the body one must first heal the soul. As I am one with God, the soul is the subconscious mind, for God is both the giver and the wrong thinking. I cannot separate the giver from the gift. Must be restored with the right ideas. Divine love and our mystical marriage is the marriage of the soul and the spirit in my mind, the subconscious body and the conscious mind. Divine love is the most powerful chemical in the subconscious is flooded with the perfect ideas which is not of itself. God and man are one. Divine love floods my consciousness with health. That is, and every cell in my body is filled with ideas. He is the man made in God's likeness and image. I see with the eyes of spirit, and is given power and dominion over all created things. There are no obstacles on my pathway. It is safe to say that all sickness and unhappiness come from the violation of the law of love. I am divinely sensitive to my intuitive commandment I give you, give instant obedience to your will. Goodwill produces
to train the imagination successfully, man must understand the workings of his mind. The Greeks said, know thyself. There are three departments of the mind, the subconscious, conscious, and superconscious. The subconscious is simply power without direction. It is like steam or electricity, and it does what it is directed to do. It has no power of induction. Whatever man feels deeply or images clearly is impressed upon the subconscious mind and carried out in minutest detail. In letting it go out fearlessly and cheerfully, you open the way for more to come in, for God is man's unfailing and inexhaustible supply. This is the spiritual attitude towards money. The great bank of the universal never fails. Follow the path of love, and all things are added, for God is love, and God is supply. Perfect love casteth out fear. He that feareth is not made perfect in love. Love is the fulfilling of the law. Infinite Spirit, open the way for my immediate supply.
To train the imagination successfully, man must understand the workings of his mind. The Greeks said, know thyself. There are three departments of the mind, the subconscious, conscious, and superconscious. The subconscious is simply power, without direction. It is like steam or electricity, and it does what it is directed to do. It has no power of induction. Whatever man feels deeply or images clearly is impressed upon the subconscious mind and carried out in minutest detail. There is always plenty on man's pathway, but it can only be brought into manifestation through desire, faith, or the spoken word. Man must make the first move. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. Infinite intelligence, God, is ever ready to carry out man's smallest or greatest demands. Every desire, at the door unexpressed, is a demand. Nothing stands between man and his highest ideals and every desire of his heart, but doubt and fear. When man can wish without worrying, every desire will be instantly fulfilled. It is man's only enemy, fear of lack, fear of failure, fear of sickness, fear of loss, and a feeling of insecurity on some plane. Why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith? So we can see we must substitute faith for fear is only inverted faith. It is faith in evil instead of good. The object of the game of life is to see clearly one's good and to obliterate all mental pictures of evil. This must be done by impressing the subconscious mind with the realization of good. A very brilliant man, who has attained great success, told me he had suddenly erased all fear from his consciousness by reading a sign which hung in a room. He saw printed, in large letters, this statement, "Why worry? It will probably never happen." These words were stamped indelibly upon his subconscious mind, and he has now a firm conviction that only good can come into his life, therefore only good can manifest. The subconscious is man's faithful servant, but one must be careful to give it the right orders. Man has ever a silent listener at his side, his subconscious mind. Every thought, every word is impressed upon it and carried out in amazing detail. It is like a singer making a record on the sensitive disc of the phonographic plate. Every note and tone of the singer's voice is registered. If he coughs or hesitates, it is registered also. So let us break all the old bad records in the subconscious mind, the records of our lives which we do not wish to keep, and make new and beautiful ones. Speak these words aloud, with power and conviction. I now smash and demolish, by my spoken word, every untrue record in my subconscious mind. They shall return to the dust heap of their native nothingness, for they came from my own vain imaginings. I now make my perfect records through the God within, the records of health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression. This is the square of life. To train the imagination successfully, man must understand the workings of his mind. The Greeks said, know thyself. There are three departments of the mind, the subconscious, conscious, and superconscious. The subconscious is simply power, without direction. It is like
There is
steam
a
or
higher law than the
electricity,
law of
and it
karma,
does what it
and
is
that law
directed to do.
transcends the
It
law
has
of
no
karma.
power of induction.
It is the law
Whatever
of
man
grace,
feels deeply or images clearly
forgiveness.
is impressed upon the
It is
subconscious
the law
mind
which frees
and carried
man
out
from
in
the law of
minutest
cause and
detail.
effect,
There
the
is
law of
always plenty on
consequence.
man's pathway, but
Under
it can
grace,
only be brought
and not
into
under law.
manifestation through desire,
We are
faith,
told
or the
that on this
spoken word.
plane,
Man
reaps
must make
where
the
he has
first
not
move.
sown. The gifts
Ask,
of God are
and it shall
simply
be given
poured out
you.
upon him.
Seek, and ye shall
All
find.
that the
Knock,
kingdom
and it
affords
shall
is
be
his.
opened unto you.
This continued
Infinite
state of
intelligence,
bliss awaits the
God,
man
is
who
ever
has
ready to
overcome the
carry
world
out
of
man's
thought.
smallest or greatest
Be
demands.
of good cheer.
Every
I have
desire,
overcome the
asked
world.
or unexpressed,
Sickness
is a
and
demand.
sorrow shall pass away,
Nothing
and
stands
death
between
itself,
man and his
the
highest
last enemy,
ideals and
be
every desire
overcome.
of his heart, but doubt and
Death could
fear.
be overcome
When
by
man can wish
stamping the
without worrying,
subconscious mind
every
with the
desire will be
conviction of
instantly
eternal youth
fulfilled.
and eternal life.
It is man's only enemy,
The
fear of lack,
subconscious,
fear of
being
failure,
simply power
fear of
without
sickness,
direction,
fear of loss, and
carries
a
out
feeling of
orders without
insecurity on some
questioning.
plane. Why are ye
Working
fearful,
under the
O ye
direction
of
the
little faith?
superconscious, the
So we
God
can
within
see we
man,
must
the
substitute faith
resurrection
for
of the
fear,
body
for
would
fear
be
is only
accomplished.
inverted faith. It is
Man
faith
would
in
no
evil
longer
instead of
throw
good.
off his body in
The
death.
object of the game of life
It
is
would
to
be
see clearly
transformed
one's
into
good
the
and
body
to
electric.
obliterate all mental pictures of
The
evil.
superconscious
This must be
mind,
done by
the God
impressing the
within,
subconscious
fights
mind
man's
with the
battles and
realization of
relieves him
good.
of burdens.
A very brilliant man,
We
who
see,
has attained great
therefore,
success,
that
told
man
me he had
violates law
suddenly
if he
erased
carries a
all fear
burden,
from his
and the
consciousness
burden
by
is an
reading a
adverse
sign which
thought or
hung in a room.
condition.
He saw printed,
This thought
in
or
large letters,
condition
this
has its
statement,
root in the
"Why worry?
subconscious.
It will probably never happen."
It seems
These
almost
words were
impossible
stamped
to make
indelibly
any
upon his
headway directing
subconscious
the
mind, and
subconscious
he
from
has
the
now a firm
conscious,
conviction
or
that only
reasoning
good can
mind.
come into his life,
The reasoning
therefore only
mind,
good can
the
manifest.
intellect, is limited
The
in its
subconscious is man's
conceptions,
faithful
and filled
servant,
with
but
doubts
one
and
must be
fears.
careful to give it the right
How
orders.
scientific it
Man
then
has
is
ever a
to
silent
cast
listener
the
at his
burden upon
side,
the
his subconscious
mind,
mind.
or God within,
Every thought,
where it is
every
made
word
light
is
or
impressed
dissolved
upon
into
it
its
and carried
native
out in amazing
nothingness.
detail. It is
We
like
must
a singer
rid
making a
ourselves
record
of
on the
spoken
sensitive disc of
words.
the phonographic plate.
In casting
Every
the
note
burden
and tone of
after
the
a
singer's
little
voice
while,
is
one
registered.
seems to
If
see
he coughs
clearly.
or hesitates, it
In
is
steadily
registered also.
repeating the
So
affirmation,
let us
I
break all
cast
the
this
old bad
burden on the
records in the
divine
subconscious
within,
mind,
and go free
the
the
records of
vision
our
closed,
lives which we
and
do
with
not
it
wish to keep, and
a
make new
feeling
and
of
beautiful
relief,
ones.
and sooner
Speak
or
these
later
words
comes the
aloud, with
manifestation
power
of
and
good,
conviction.
be it
I now
health,
smash and
happiness, or
demolish, by
supply.
my spoken word,
One
every
must remain on in the
untrue
dark
record
until
in
one
my
can see the
subconscious
dark,
mind.
and
They
casting
shall
the
return
burden
to the dust
enables
heap
one
of their
to see
native
in the dark.
nothingness, for they came from
In
my
order
own
to
vain
impress the
imaginings.
subconscious,
I now make my
active faith
perfect
is
records
always
through the God
essential.
within, the records of
Faith
health,
without
wealth,
work is dead.
love and perfect self-expression.
Active faith is the
This is the
bridge
square of
over
life.
which man
Divine love
passes to
floods
his
my
promised
consciousness with
land.
health, and every cell
The
in my body
subconscious
is
is
filled with
often
light.
impressed
Divine
through
love
music.
floods my consciousness with health,
Music has
and
a
every
fourth
cell in my body
dimensional
is filled
quality
with
and
light.
releases the
Divine
soul
love
from
floods my
imprisonment.
consciousness with health,
It
and
makes
every cell
wonderful
in my
things
body
seem
is filled
possible
with light.
easily.
Divine
The
love
rhythm and
floods my
harmony of
consciousness
music
with
and
health,
motion
and
carry
every
words with
cell in my
tremendous
body
power.
is filled with
All
light.
things are possible to him that
Divine
believe.
love floods my consciousness
How
with
can I get
health,
rid
and
of fear?
every cell in my
By
body is
walking up
filled
to the
with
thing you
light.
are afraid of. An endless
supply
lion
of
takes
one's
its
fierceness
full
from your
creativity
fear.
lies within me. Walk up to the lion, I am a and he will disappear. Run away,
I am
and
a
he
master
runs
of
after
generating
you.
clever
Be
ideas.
bountifully supplied through
Abundant
losing all fear of
creativity
letting
flows
money go
through
out.
me.
The
I am
subconscious
abundance.
is impressed with the truth
I
that
bridge
God
the
is the
gap
giver
between
and gift.
thought,
Therefore,
action,
as one is
and
one with the
results.
giver, he is one with the
I
gift.
am a magnet for clever
A splendid
ideas.
statement is, I now
Brilliant
thank God the giver
solutions
for
come
God
to
to my
gift.
creative brain. Man has so long
I am
separated
brave.
himself from his good and
My
his supply
creativity
through
flows
thoughts of
effortless.
separation and lack. That
With every
sometimes
mindful breath,
it takes
my
dynamite to
imagination
dislodge these false
strengthens.
ideas from the subconscious.
I am brave.
Be freed from
I
your
deeply
bondage by showing
appreciate my
my talents.
talents.
Choose
I am
this day
worthy
whom
of the
you shall
growing
serve, fear or
abundance that
faith.
fills my day.
See people feared
I
as
am
golden
creative.
links in the chain of good or
As I
disappear
think,
harmoniously from
energy
your
is put
pathway.
into motion to create
There is
my
no
new
power in
reality.
evil.
When
My
you
life is
realize
full
that,
of many
the
things
material
for which
world
I am
will fade
grateful,
away.
and the fourth
I am
dimensional
creative.
world, the world of the
My
wondrous,
mind
will
is
swing into
finely tuned for
manifestation.
attracting
attracting massive abundance in all areas of my life. And there shall be no more death, focused on manifesting perfect, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are past creative. When you send out when I realize what a badass I am going to be either from this person or equivalent, I steer my life in wonderful new directions with the power of positive intention. As you are one with God, you are one with the love which belongs to you by divine right becoming reality. No person is your enemy. Every mindful breath manifests a deeper level of mental clarity. Become impersonal and learn what each man has to teach you,
good is
and soon you will learn
me.
his or her lessons and
I
be
am
free.
grateful that success
You
is
must
a
be in
normal part
harmony
of
with
my
the thing
life
in order to attract it.
I love taking
Money
action
is
to
God in
transform my
manifestation
thoughts and
as
ideas
freedom
into
from
physical
limitation.
reality.
But it must be
I am
always kept
sexy.
in circulation and put
An
to right
attitude
uses.
of gratitude comes naturally
Hoarding and
to
saving
me.
react with grim
I
vengeance.
effortlessly attract abundance.
Continually affirming
I am
establishes
sexy.
the belief in the
Good
subconscious.
things come my way.
There is no
I
time
am a
or
master
space
at bridging
in
the
divine
gap
mind.
between thought,
Therefore the
action,
word reaches
and results.
instantly its destination.
Each day presents
All
completely
power is
new
given
and
man
exciting
through right
opportunities.
thinking to bring
I
his
am
heaven
rich.
upon his earth.
Every
And this is the
action
goal
I
of the
take is
game
in
of life.
perfect harmony with universal
The simple
law.
rules are fearless faith.
My life is filled with
non-resistance
abundance
and love.
I am
Be
rich.
now freed from that thing
I
which
follow
has
my
held you
finely
in
tuned
bondage through the
intuition.
ages. Standing
I
between
find it
you and
easy
your
to
own,
attract
and
all
know
that
the
I
truth
need
which
into my
makes you
life.
free to
I am
fulfill your
rich.
destiny, to
I
bring
love
into
the process
manifestation
behind
the
the
divine
transforming
design
a
of your
creative
life,
idea into
health,
reality.
wealth, love and
My
money.
mind is precisely
God
tuned
is
for
my
manifesting
unfailing
all
supply,
that I need.
and large sums of money
I
come
have
to me
poise.
quickly, under grace.
I love the process
in perfect
behind
ways.
making my clever ideas
Every
a
plan my
reality.
Father in heaven has
My
not
mind
planned
is naturally
shall be
wired for
dissolved and
genius
dissipated,
ideas.
and the divine
I
idea
have
now
poise.
comes to pass.
My
Only
self-confidence
that which
grows
is
with
true
each
of God is
mindful
true
breath
of
that
me,
I take.
for I and the Father are one. Feeling good is what I thrive
As I am
on.
one
with God, I am
I am
one with my
grateful.
good, for God is both the
Anything
giver
is
and
possible.
the gift.
I
I
prove
cannot
this every
separate
day.
the giver from the gift.
I am thankful for my
Divine
ability
love
to
now
make others
dissolves
laugh.
and dissipates every
I
wrong
am
condition
grateful.
in my mind,
I
body and
attract the
affairs.
best circumstances and the
Divine
most
love is the
positive
most
people
powerful
into my
chemical
life.
in the universe,
I
and
become more
dissolves everything
confident
which
every
is
day.
not of itself.
I am grateful.
Divine love floods
I
my
deserve all
consciousness
that
with
is good.
health, and every cell
My
in my body is
appreciation
filled
for
with
everything
light.
in my life grows
My
every
eyes
day.
are God's eyes. I
I
see
have
with
faith.
the eyes of spirit.
I am thankful
I
for
see
the
clearly
limitless
the
good
open
that
way.
comes into
There are
my
no
life.
obstacles on my
I
pathway.
am thankful for the
I see
limitless
clearly
power
the
of my
perfect
mind.
plan.
I have
I am
faith.
divinely sensitive to
My
my
success is
intuitive
guaranteed.
needs, and give instant obedience
Financial
to your will.
abundance flows to me.
To train the
I have
imagination
grace.
successfully, man
I am
must
grateful
understand the
for my
workings of
positive
his mind.
attitude.
The
I am
Greeks
full of
said,
wealth
know
creating
thyself.
ideas.
There are three departments
I
of the
am
mind,
graceful.
the subconscious,
I
conscious,
become
and
more prosperous
superconscious.
every day.
The
My
subconscious
business
is
dreams
simply
align with
power
my core
without
values.
direction.
I
It
have
is like
grace.
steam or
I
electricity,
tap
and it
deeper
does what
into
it
my
is
infinite
directed to
potential
do.
with
It has
every
no
mindful
power of
breath.
induction. Whatever
I
man
am
feels
open and
deeply or
receptive to
images
new
clearly
avenues
is
of
impressed
income.
upon the
I
subconscious
am
mind
graceful.
and carried out in minutest
Every day,
detail.
I become more prosperous.
In letting it go out
I
fearlessly and
love using my
cheerfully,
good
you open the
fortune to
way for
help
more to
others.
come in, for God
My
is
good
man's
fortune and
unfailing
my
and
good life are the
inexhaustible
results of
supply.
my
This
clever
is the
thinking.
spiritual attitude
My
towards money.
success is a result of
The
smart
great
thinking
bank
and
of the
hard work.
universal never fails.
I
Follow the
deserve to
path
live a
of
full
love,
and
and all
complete
things
life.
are added. For God
I
is
share my
love,
good
and God
fortune
is supply.
generously with others.
Perfect
I
love
am a
casteth
magnet
out
for
fear.
clever ideas.
He that
I
feareth
get
is not
everything I
made
want by
perfect in
first
love.
helping others get everything
Love
they
is the
want.
fulfilling of the law.
My
Infinite
business
Spirit,
helps me
open
serve
the
my
way
life
for my
purpose.
immediate supply.
My attitude
To
grows
train the
happier and
imagination
healthier every
successfully,
day.
man must understand the
I feel
workings of his
fulfilled
mind.
by my
The
work.
Greeks
My
said,
ideas
know
come to life
thyself.
through my business.
There are three departments of the
I
mind,
easily
the
create
subconscious,
positive
conscious and
solutions.
superconscious. The
I am a
subconscious
master.
is simply power,
People
without direction.
notice my good
It is like
qualities.
steam or electricity, and
People
it does
love
what
me.
it is directed to do.
My
It
high
has no power of
self-esteem
induction.
allows me to accept
Whatever man feels
compliments
deeply
easily.
or images clearly
I
is impressed
regularly
upon his
praise
subconscious
others.
mind and carried
I
out
am
in
healthy,
minutest detail.
strong, and
There is
powerful.
always plenty on man's
I am
pathway,
grateful
but it can
for
only
my
be
inner
brought into
strength.
manifestation through
My
desire, faith,
deep-rooted
or the spoken
self-belief
word.
empowers
Man
me to
must make
take
the first
effective
move.
action.
Ask,
I
and it
live
shall be
life to
given
the
you.
fullest.
Seek, and ye shall
I
find.
have a deep
Knock, and it shall
appreciation
be
for
opened
life.
unto you.
My
Infinite
mind is
intelligence,
finely tuned
God,
for
is ever
attracting
ready to
wealth.
carry out man's smallest
I
or greatest
attract
demands.
success.
Every desire,
My bank
answered or
balance
unexpressed,
increases all
is
the
a
time.
demand. Nothing
I am
stands
wealthy,
between man and his
receiving
highest
more is
ideals
as
and every
natural as
desire of his
breathing.
heart, but doubt and
I
fear.
love taking
When man
action
can wish
to
without
bring my
worrying,
highly
every
creative
desire will be
ideas
instantly
to
fulfilled.
life.
It is man's
I am
only
worthy
enemy,
of
fear of
financial
lack,
abundance.
fear of of failure, fear of sickness, fear of loss, and a feeling of insecurity on some plane. Why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith? So we can see we must substitute faith for fear, for fear is only inverted faith. It is faith in evil instead of good. The object of the game of life is to see clearly one's good and to obliterate all mental pictures of evil. This must be done by impressing the subconscious mind with the realization of good. A very brilliant man, who has attained great success, told me he had suddenly erased all fear from his consciousness by reading a sign which hung in a room. He saw printed, in large letters, this statement: "Why worry? It will probably never happen." These words were stamped indelibly upon his subconscious mind, and he has now a firm conviction that only good can come into his life, therefore only good can manifest. The subconscious is man's faithful servant, but one must be careful to give it the right orders. Man has ever a silent listener at his side, his subconscious mind. Every thought, every word is impressed upon it and carried out in amazing detail. It is like a singer making a record on the sensitive disc of the phonographic plate. Every note and tone of the singer's voice is registered. If he coughs or hesitates, it is registered also. So let us break all the old bad records in the subconscious mind, the records of our lives which we do not wish to keep, and make new and beautiful ones. Speak these words aloud, with power and conviction. I now smash and demolish, by my spoken word, every untrue record in my subconscious mind. They shall return to the dust heap of their native nothingness, for they came from my own vain imaginings. I now make my perfect records through the God within, the records of health, wealth, love and perfect self-expression. This is the square of life.